Greetings everyone, Brett here with Hammerhead Model Making, back with another 5-minute review. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new Eduard Bloody Hundredth Special Edition B-17F in 1/48 scale. Now, this review is going to concentrate more on the actual things that Eduard has added to this kit, because I've actually already reviewed the plastic. I'll link that down below in the HK B-17F review. So we're not going to be looking through all the plastic itself, but mainly just what has Eduard added to this kit, what value have they added. So we're going to go ahead and take a look inside. Again, the HK B-17F kit is a absolutely gorgeous looking kit. A lot of parts, it's quite extensive, and it looks like Eduard has, really added a lot of good stuff to this kit to really elevate that kit. So you get two instruction sheets here. So the first instruction sheet is really going to be, it's going to give you a little bit of information, history on the Bloody Hundredth, on the Hundredth bomb group. It's going to give you a little bit of information about the aircraft, things like that, all the crazy, terrible, horrible things they went through. Then we're going to go ahead and get into the instructions. Now, this is largely just going to be a copy of the HK instructions from the first page. You're also going to get a very extensive layout for Eduard's self-adhesive masks, for masking all the different canopies and all the different windows and every possible combination and option there are for all the different transparencies. So just, you really will need to be paying attention. And then we get into the markings. Now, this kit comes with a lot of markings, and you really do need to be paying attention here, because a lot of these markings will have two sets where it'll have like early markings and late markings for the same aircraft. Additionally, you need to be paying attention to all the different nose options that come in here, because that is kind of one of the big selling points of this kit, is that it does come with multiple nose options, both in terms of the configuration of windows and armament. So a lot of care is going to be needed to be pay attention there. But you do get a lot of different liveries in here from all different stretches of when the 100th Bomb Group was using the B-17F. And from as far as I can tell, Eduard has done a lot of painstaking research to make sure these markings are accurate and look good, and all the little nuances of these aircraft. You also do get a nice full set of stencils. Now, the second instruction sheet, this is going to have all of the Eduard upgrades in it. So this is going to have all the photo etch and stuff. It's going to have all the different nose options that they give. So just be aware that they largely cover the same thing, both instruction sheets, but there are differences. So you will need to be paying attention to that. You'll need to be paying attention, especially to this one, because it has all the different nose configurations. And I'll show you the nose plastic in a little bit so you can get an idea of what that looks like. But it's very nice and very extensive, very detailed. But again, each marking has a letter next to it, and you'll see in the instructions it'll say, like, these options for these letters of markings. So you'll just, what I always find with Eduard kits is I go through the instructions with a little highlighter and highlight all the steps that have specific steps for whatever aircraft I choose to build, and I think that would be very helpful here. And there are additional markings at the back of this book, so there's something like 20 some odd different markings in this boxing, which is pretty impressive even for an Eduard kit, and they're all very nice, very unique, very interesting. So definitely, one other thing too is you'll see these little markings here where it says types of engines. There are two different sets of engines. Just be aware that, again, that's just another option that you'll need to be aware of. So this is the original HK nose plastic, and this was really contemporary for like the Memphis Belle and those types of B-17s. But there were multiple different like field modifications for the B-17F, and so Eduard has created this new fret, this new sprue, with different window configurations for the B-17F, different nose cone configurations, different ways that they put armament. Sometimes they had 250s out of the nose, sometimes they had 30s out of the nose, 150, center mounted, twin. I mean, there was just so many different options, and with all these clear parts, you will get to be able to mix and match and create the options for whatever aircraft you're doing. I will note that the actual clear parts, like the actual window portion of the clear parts here, had a little bit of a texture to them, a little bit of a grain to them. You can kind of see it in these pictures here. The nose cones looked fantastic. It was just mainly on these side parts here. So just be aware. You also get a nice set of color photo etch that's mainly seat belts, but you do get instrument panel and center console for the cockpit. And then you also get an additional set of photo etch that's for the engine and some exterior details and references. So definitely nice. Always good to have a good little set of photo etch in there. Eduard does also provide you a very extensive set of canopy masks. Like the instructions showed, you will need to be paying very careful attention because there's a lot of clear parts on this kit, and just trying to pay attention to where they are. You do get very nice Brazen turbochargers for the aircraft, so that comes with a set of 4, and these are absolutely exquisite, beautiful. Just I could not find any blemishes or flaws on them whatsoever. You also do get a nice bloody 100th bomb group pin, collector's pin, so that's nice. Now the decals. There are multiple sheets of decals, and they are the Eduard style, new style decals, so just be aware of that. I do have a video on how to actually effectively use them, but what's nice is Eduard provides you multiple different national insignias. So in theory, if you get this kit and then get a couple of the soon-to-be-released overtrees from Eduard for the B-17F, you could, with these decals, complete 5 or 6 different aircraft, which is nice. And because you don't often get multiple versions of the national insignias, so here's pretty much most of them. So just be aware that that is a possibility, and it would be relatively, it would be cheaper than buying this kit over a couple times. If you wanted to build multiple versions, I would recommend just getting the overtrees because they will be somewhat cheaper. But yeah, this looks like a great kit. Eduard smashed this one out of the park. I absolutely recommend this kit if you're a fan of the B-17, bombers in general, that kind of thing. Check it out.